Hi everyone, thanks for tuning in. I've got a quick video for you all on a dinner I like to make when I'm a little low on funds. It's very tasty, very cheap, and very filling. So these are all the ingredients that you need. I like to add a few other little spices and whatnot, which aren't necessary but do help the flavor. But all you really need are three things. Progresso, Italian style meatball. Go for light if you want, I prefer the light. Some ground beef, doesn't really matter where you get it from or even the fat percentage, just get as cheap as you can. And some super cheap, great value mostaccioli pasta. This will run you about $1.50. These are about $1.60 a can. And a pound of ground beef will run you, $3 or $4. So all in all, you're looking at about $7, $8 for a meal that will last you at least 2 to 3 dinners for me personally. So I'm gonna start out by boiling some water and browning some meat, and we'll be right back. Now, while we let this boil, we are going to put about a pound of ground beef into a pan, brown it, and put it off to the side. So I'll do that real quick. Now we're gonna let this water boil, and while we're waiting for it to heat up, we're gonna put about a pound of ground beef into our pan to brown. So we'll take about a pound, throw it right in there, and just brown it like you would normally brown beef. Pretty simple stuff. It's worth mentioning that if you've never browned ground beef before, it looks crazy, yeah, it looks gross, but it's super easy, and it's really no problem at all. You just throw that meat in there and just start doing this. You basically treat it as if it were scrambled eggs. And once you get it all ground up, chopped up, you can start flipping them over. Rinse and repeat that until it's all brown. After about 6 or 7 minutes, your meat should be all brown all the way through, no red, and that's just what we want. So we're gonna take that off the burner, put it off to the side, and we're gonna focus on boiling this water. So it looks like it's about done, so in a couple minutes I'm going to put this entire box of pasta into that water. Our water's looking nice and boiled. Got plenty of bubbles rising to the surface. So I'm going to go ahead and add my entire 1 pound box of great value mostaccioli. Careful not to splash yourself. Now we're going to leave this in here boiling for 10 to 12 minutes, but we have to stir occasionally. So grab yourself a wooden spoon. Plastic spoons are not going to work here, but a metal spoon, I guess, would work. Wooden's best. And give it a nice stir. Let it sit for a couple minutes, come back, stir again. Rinse, repeat until you hit 10 minutes. We got about 1 minute left on our timer. Giving it a good stir. I wanted to real quick talk about seasoning. So what I like to do is add pepper to my ground beef, and then we'll mix it all together. But I like to also add a little bit more to the ground beef. I like to add a dash of cayenne pepper, just a personal preference. I like to add a dash of garlic, and a little bit of sprinkling of minced onion. All of these are very, very cheap seasonings you could get for, I don't know, just a couple dollars really. And once you buy them, they'll last you a long time. So I do recommend getting some seasonings, but you don't need them for this recipe. One thing I want to cover lastly is salt. So these Progresso soups here have 480 milligrams of sodium per can, and we're using 2 cans. You don't need any more salt. Like, seriously, don't add salt. You'll be just fine without it. There's plenty in the Progresso soup. That being said, you can put a dash into your pasta while you're boiling it for a little bit of added flavor. Some people like to do that. I don't do that personally. I don't really taste the difference. So that's about it there. We're gonna finish boiling this. We got 3 seconds left. I'm gonna take it off, and I'll be right back with you. Now, after you've made sure your stovetop is turned off, you need to grab your colander to drain this pasta. If you don't have a colander, just take the lid of your pot, leave a little slit, tip it, and drain the water that you can. All right, the pasta is all drained. Now we're gonna open up our Progresso soups and dump them right into there. I gotta use 2 hands for that. All right, our soups are open. Pour them right in there. Oh shoot. Make sure you get all the good stuff. Probably don't want that in there. Take our next one, put it in there. Check to get all the good stuff. All right, now that that's in there, we're gonna take our pasta, pour our pasta directly into there. I'm gonna slowly put that in there. Careful not to splash. Nice. Put the colander off to the side. Now we need to give this a good mix. I'm not left-handed. Let me switch hands. We're gonna give this a real good mix. Try and get a lot of that pasta submerged. All right, good enough. Now we're gonna take this meat, and pour all the meat in there. And there's plenty of good juice in here. Leave that in there. Shoot. All right, we got a little bit off the side. All right, we're gonna mix that in. I'm gonna do this with 2 hands. All right, we've got that all mixed up, and we are just about done here, friends. The last thing I like to do is take 1 Progresso soup, one of your cans, fill this almost all the way up with water, about to the Progresso logo. By the way, I don't work for Progresso. And pour that water directly in there, so I'm gonna go grab some. This water is gonna help keep everything nice and moist, and it'll help it stay a little bit longer. Looking at it, I filled it up to right about the Italian style, and that was plenty of water for me. So just do a little experimenting. It's the fun thing about cooking. You can pretty much do whatever you want, add things to taste, and hopefully you don't mess it up too bad. Water's not gonna hurt much. All right, lastly, we add seasoning. So I'm gonna take plenty of pepper, put it in there. I'm a big fan of pepper, so I put lots of pepper in here. Give it a good mix. Grab some garlic, personal preference. Do a dash of garlic. Get this open. Got my red cayenne pepper. Dash of that. And last but not least, the minced onion. And there you have it. Your 3 ingredient poor man's with added seasonings. Now to take this to the next level, I like to grate some cheese on there. Get the best cheese I can from Aldi, some Havarti, or you can use anything you want. Pepper jack would be fine, Parmesan, literally any cheese would be great. Just throw some cheese on there and boom, it's golden. So I hope I helped someone out, give you a good meal idea. If anything, this should last you, shoot, this is gonna last me 3-4 meals at least. This is 4 pounds of food and it cost me about $7, so try it out.